Hi, this is a thread response to Baby's Threadle Rituals thread from the Grecian founder, aka Andreas. So, yeah, it's quite interesting questions there. And question number one is how you organize records. And I'll start with the second one is where do you keep them? Well, here I keep them in the living room because I don't have no space for them. Back home, I have them in my room in my parents' house, and I keep them in the IKEA. You will know the classic one, which is this one. Yeah, so this is my UK collection. It's not big. As I said, I've started buying records again like 8 months ago. So it's grown. I started off with two records that I had here, and then once I set up the record player, then just do from there. Anyway, this is where I have them now. So it's two shelves for the moment. Back home, I have the same thing, and but I have it horizontally. One horizontal, which is filled out, and the bigger one, not the big one, but the bigger one that has records again. I mean, these are perfect for records. I think that that's why they sound like crazy. One of the reasons they sound like crazy is that. The other one, I guess, there are other reasons as well. So yeah, I just keep them there. I think they're just made for records. It's unbelievable. They fit any kind of size of record. I actually have one box set that doesn't fit, but it's like an oddity. Anyway, that's where I keep them. Now, how I organize them? There's like an organized chaos, I guess. Usually, what I do is I put records that I have from artists I have more than two together. So if I have like five or six of them, then it means that I really like that artist. So I put them together. That's pretty much how I have organized it here as well. So if I have more than two, then I put them together. Now, if for some reason I get a lot of records from one genre, then it becomes its own thing and it's moved, but not always. So it doesn't make any sense. So I remember the way that I have organized it back home is like I have the bottom boxes. They start off with a lot of Jimi Hendrix records, and then I have Rolling Stones, and then I have Led Zeppelin, and then it goes on to Joy Division. But then again, I have another box that has 80s records. I have some of the bands. I have two of them. So yeah, and then I have some other ones that are like 90s records that I bought, and then I have another part where I have like jazz records and experimental stuff and what have you. But the whole idea is that I put them in places that I know where I can find them, and that's basically it. Because I tried reorganizing, and then I couldn't find anything. That's the last thing I remember. It was like 6 years ago when I was home, and I was just saying, oh, I don't like the way that things are here, and I shifted things around, and then I couldn't find anything. So yeah, I organized them in a way that basically makes sense to me at that point in time, and after 2 hours, it doesn't make any sense at all. The only stable thing is that if I have, records, more than two records from one album, what am I talking about? From one artist or band or whatever, I just tend to put them together. And the more they are, they go to the beginning of the rack, if you like, or the shelf anyway. And that's it. But otherwise, it's organized chaos. How do you shop for records? How do I shop for records? Unfortunately, I have to do that online. A lot of it's done online. I'm quite fortunate in the sense that I live close by to a big rough trade shop here in London in the east, but it's rough trade is not what it was used to be anyway, and especially the one that's close to me is quite mainstream, so it doesn't have a lot of stuff, and I don't like the way that they organize stuff. I mean, they have a rack of records that has two sides, and one side is called the American side, and the other side is the UK European side. I mean, who on earth buys a record based on where the artist is from? Makes no sense. No sense at all. It's just irrational completely. I mean, yeah. Anyway, and they don't have that good of a selection, and it's not replenished that much. I don't know. It's not that good. So it's a bit of a, yeah, it's a bit of a waste of time. I can go there because it's close by, but you know, it's rubbish. There is another rough trade shop which is quite farther away. It's on the other side of the west end side, whereas close to Notting Hill, there are three record shops there. It's Intoxica Records, the original rough trade shop, and Honest John's, which is amazing. Now, I have another rant about all these, because the rough trade shop in Notting Hill is great. It has fantastic stuff. However, what they do, and this is what they do here in the UK usually, is that they take a record, they take the record out, and they put the sleeve on the shelves. So what happens is that, especially in the rough trade shop in Notting Hill, is that they have jam-packed. So what happens is that if the record is like, it's been there for like a month or so, then the spine gets cracked. And it's so annoying. You buy a brand new record and it's worn out because it was on the bloody shelf. Anyway, that's rough trade for you. And then Honest John's does the same thing. They take them out. So essentially, you buy a record. Okay, sometimes you know they take them out, but if they have, you know, another copy that's sealed, they give you the sealed copy. But that's not always the case. So you know, you buy a record, and essentially it's like almost second-hand. Well, almost. It's near mint, if you like. It's so annoying. So yeah, I end up buying a lot of them online. Unfortunately, I've found some really good sources, so that's quite good. Although you know, it's not the same thing as going to the record shop and just buying the thing. It's not the same. So yeah, how do you open them? Well, fingernail, you know, you slit it open and keep it. I mean, it doesn't make any sense. Why would you put an outer sleeve to something that already has an outer sleeve? I mean, think of the environment, for God's sakes. Personally, I keep them on. I've told the story. I don't know if you have seen the video about the record that I bought and was used, and you know, it was 10 years old, and you know, it still had the sleeve, the shrink wrap on, and it was like, it felt like new. And you know, it was also a thing about, you know, buying the record and thinking that, oh, you know, this record was pressed, I don't know, wherever, somewhere in the US, and somebody bought it there, I don't know, and then sold it, and you know, it traveled all the way here and in this kind of perfect condition, and just couldn't bring myself to take it out. You know, it's like, it was like that. And on top of that, you take an outer sleeve and you put it to something that already has an outer sleeve, and you know, it's not the same. I mean, think about it. You go to a shop, a used record shop, and you have two identical records. One is with a shrink wrap and one is without. Which one feels like newer, you know? I think the one with the shrink wrap, obviously, so that's the one that you buy. And then you would take out the shrink wrap and put it in the outer sleeve. Makes no sense. Why do it? Why do it? Okay, I understand it, sort of understand it when you have, you know, a gatefold album, when you want to open it or whatever. But, you know, for a single, for a regular LP, makes no sense. So yeah, that's how I open them. I open them either with the fingernail trick, or just taking them to the one side and rubbing them against my my trousers, and that makes it, you know, open up. And it's that's how you do it. So anyway, that's a thread response. Hope you enjoyed it. And yeah, and shout out to Derek. I'm listening to the Mini Pops right now, which is quite good. Nice choice there. Anyway, see you guys later. Cheers, bye.